Leo, I am so excited to have you here.
Hey, what's happening, man?
I'm so good, but I'm like I can feel your energy through the internet. So everyone, Leo is the inaugural live interview here, and we do want to thank our sponsors, Rad Power Bikes, Ortlieb, along with everyone else that has signed on. And I am extremely excited for this interview just because I have witnessed Leo's energy across the internet and met some people who have been able to ride with him. But if we haven't met, I'm Eric Dowds and the co-founder of Miles of Portraits with Annalisa Vandenberg. And so we generally are bike touring and photographing the people that we meet as we bike around the world, and a lot of the speakers that show up for the summit focused on celebrating diversity by bike are people that we've met along the way or one stone throw from the other. And so overall, our plan or idea is to try to talk to Leo for roughly 20 or 30 minutes and then open it up for Q&A with all of you all so we can inspire each other, get motivated, and just talk about what it's like to see yourself in the cycling community or maybe not see yourself and what you bring. And I feel like a lot of people, what's special about the bike, have their story. And with that, I think we can dive in. And Leo, I was sharing how Annalise and I know each other because we both were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a disease that kind of happens all of a sudden, happened to us as teenagers. And that date for me is October 1st of 2007. And I know you have one of those dates with your motorcycle accident where you lost a leg. And on your bicycling film or short video, which is amazing to watch, and we can leave that for people, you said that this was a curse that turned into a gift. And I was just wondering if you could talk about that journey and maybe especially what you thought about right when that accident happened, because cycling has been such a huge part of your life.
Yeah, cycling has always been a part of my life, and I always, dabbled a little bit with motorcycles, and I really thought that, I really wanted to, make that my future, and just being young, you just go through those phases, and you're living life a little differently, and sometimes a little bit too fast, and I just think I was just living my life a little bit too fast, and I was thinking that, that was the direction I wanted to go, and after that accident, it was a really big humbling experience for me. And not only that, a life-changing experience. And I really felt like just stepping away from that, but still being on two wheels, getting back on the bicycle again, where it all started from. It's almost like your roots, just growing up as a kid, you'll never forget how to ride a bike, but that's what kind of changed me again and gave me my freedom, and it really made me be strong again to kind of come out of my shell, because, you're out in the open, and just to kind of go through a really bad accident like that, you don't want to kind of think about it. So, just try not to memorize it. I just kind of go for a good bike ride. And that's what kind of changed my life. And, I seen it do it for others, like how you said, with diabetes, with just any other kind of issues that you have. I just feel like that bike is always going to just, change your life and, progress you and make you stronger. So, that's what kind of what it was for me in those dark times, just sitting in the hospital, just, thinking about this, thinking about that, just, I wouldn't say being miserable, but, trying to be, just very sad all the time. So that's what it kind of brought for me. And definitely December 1st, '07. I remember that date. So yeah, that's what it was for me.
When And that's what I'm saying, it's like those dates you can't
Yeah.
forget. And I remember being in the hospital bed, and I was lucky, so my grandfather had type 1 diabetes, and so I knew he lived to be 83, which for his time was very unheard of. And so while I was sitting in the hospital bed, I remember saying, I'll have to make a decision whether this is going to be something that will bring me down for the rest of my life, or if I'll have to choose right now to be positive and then figure it out. Did you have a moment like that before you left the hospital saying, I think I'll be able to get into biking, or
No, I was so excited to get out the hospital. They gave me some crutches. I was like, whoa, I'm back at it now. I feel like I am a human again. I was like doing all kinds of tricks on these crutches. I think that was like step one right there, just getting out of the hospital. But I just always had like a need for speed, to be honest with you. RC cars was like the kind of my little video game, because I always like to tinker with stuff. And, I was like, getting into these RC cars, my buddy that we still rode motorcycles together with, he was just a lawn guy. And, I would just drive over there and we'd just be tinkering around with these RC cars. And that was like the stardom to like going back fast again. So, it was just, that's what was like the trigger. It was just like these little level of steps of just, kind of getting back and like going fast again. And, it just, when I got back on that bike, that was just like game changing, like a life changing experience. That was just like a doorway to like heaven in a sense. Just like, all right, now I just want to just do stuff. It motivated me to want to do something.
You've got that Lewis Hamilton energy with the RC cars. I was just watching him with David Letterman. He just talked about always needing the speed, and he's probably the world's best Formula One racer. I saw in the interview you also talked about clip-ins kind of changing the way that you interacted with bikes. Is there some gear, some tools that you had to discover by yourself, or were there also some people that were saying like, hey, Leo, you should try this out, you should try that out?
It kind of took one person. I started out with like a zip tie and put it on my pedal just so I can like get it to come around. But somebody told me like, oh yeah, just go get you some cycling shoes and some pedals. I'm like, oh, it's just that easy? Like, all right, okay. So I always remember that, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, pedals and shoes. So I just walked into a bike shop, got me some shoes and a pedal, and they hooked it all up. And I literally like rode around the parking lot like, oh my gosh. I hurried up, got it home, got out, went to ride, and I was like, this is it right here. Like, I feel like a stick shift I'm driving right now. Like, I am clicked in, I am engaged to this bike. If something happens, the bike's coming with me. So, all right, here we go. So, yeah, just I remember that experience for sure. So definitely, just nope. It was just nope. Just go get you some cycling shoes and some pedals.
What
Use that.
What was the moment walking into the bike store like? Like there you are. I'm assuming on crutches, a person that has one leg, and you're like, I need a pair of shoes. What was that moment like for you?
It was kind of like, just starting over again. I had my bike, I rode it in there. It's like, yo, I need to like figure out how to like ride this thing. Like somebody told me I just need the pedal and some shoes. Is that all I need? Like, oh yeah, man. Like actually you just need one. Then you just do it like this, bam. You just click on like, oh, all right, cool. So they put the pedal on there and got my shoe, got me right. I'm like, all right. And I just walked out the door. I mean, it was almost like they seen it before or something, because they were just going with the flow. I'm like, oh, all right. You're just having a conversation. It just kind of went from there.
Yeah, and that's what's I think amazing about your energy and personality is that it seems like you just tackle one challenge after the next, but then also figure out how to keep building that energy. And I know we were talking a little bit before this interview, your relationship with the community and your ethos of giving back. Do you want to just talk about what the bike community looks like for you in terms of things that you're involved with, but then also kind of what the bike community means to you as well?
I really feel like that's kind of really important too, because I think that just brings all kinds of people and, definitely cultures together. So I'm always like really big into like doing some kind of group ride to bring the community together, especially kids, because, they need some kind of guidance and just something to do with themselves to kind of just keep them out of trouble. Because, just me being Black and just growing up in those neighborhoods, you see it all the time. So if you can just find some kind of deterrent, you know, to distract them from not doing that kind of stuff. And I always found it, just through cycling, you know, they don't want to go out there and do that stuff and tear up the stuff. They got the nice bikes, and then they kind of being around positive people. You learn certain things like now you want to go get a job because you want to buy these nice bike parts, or you see this older guy come out, with this $10,000, road bike or something. He's like, I want that right there. So you start figuring out, how to work for it, and you're just talking to the right group of people, and that's how I really feel. Why creating group rides was important to me. That's why I always enjoyed that. I always made that like my baby, just to be dedicated to be at these group rides. No matter if I stayed 25 miles away, I made sure I was there every Wednesday to, be that group leader. And people needed that ride, whether if it was rain or shine. So I really felt that, I was just, that guy to bring that out and to present that to people. And it was kind of cool when I started bringing my son out. That was like the biggest thing. Like, well, if that little kid can do it, I mean, I can. And that's what really like just opened the doors, just for all kinds of people. And then, everybody had their reasons on why they wanted to go for a bike ride. And they always knew that they had that day off. They're going for a bike ride. Like, nope, I need this day off. I'm going for a bike ride. This is my therapy, my medicine, or whatever it was. So, it not only just worked for just, older people, it worked for kids, it just worked for all kinds of people. And, that's what was the biggest thing and what made me dedicate my time to the community is just by starting out with just a little bike ride.
Can you tell us more about what it meant for you as a parent to have your kid there?
Oh man, that's the best part, especially having all my kids out there. It's like magic. You start thinking, you get excited, but then you're like, oh wow, wait a minute, I need life insurance on these kids. Like, whoa, what is going on here? Like, I got my oldest son doing wheelies, and my little girl, she's like riding my tall bike, and then my little son, he's just like all over the place. He just be riding. So just always having him out there, just I always say it takes a village to raise a child, and just having that group like that, and he's just just hanging out with people, you get to know the people. So that was always an exciting dad moment for me, just to have my son out there, just riding with me. He's only like 5, and he's riding with all these adults, and he's doing it. He's just out there grinding, and just to see him like just sleeping so good, it's like wow, like he had a good time. So that was like, just a proud dad moment for me. And I just enjoy those moments. So I always try to bring them out just so I can, just stay a happy dad.
It's, there's one of the beauties I find about biking is just the mix of generations that happens a lot of times in terms of all of a sudden you find yourself with older people, with younger people. To me, it feels a lot like that church experience. And I know you've also worked in a shop, and what has that been like to help people fix their bikes, help fix their own bikes, teach those skills? Is it something you've been able to pass down to teenagers or kids or others, or like what is it like to be like kind of around the shop experience for those that might not be able to?
I think the weirdest part about working at a bike shop is helping the homeless. In a sense, I really feel like, if you work at a shop, you're doing some kind of service to the community anyway. You're helping these people out on a regular basis, that ride their bikes, but sometimes you just get that guy that might be short on change, or, just need, help doing this. And I really found out, especially when I was working in Tampa, like just helping the homeless was just such a positive thing. And, just riding around, seeing these guys and, just having a conversation with them, just finding out, what's their story. And, they just come back to you and like, oh man, thank you, thank you for helping me out that one day with my tube or my bike, man, that got me to work. I got that job. Yeah, I got that job. Like, oh, you better got that job. I helped you out that day too. I had to sit outside that. So I kind of joke around with them, but, I still applaud them at the same time, to kind of push them further. So I really felt like, that was the best experience and such a different experience with just working at the bike shop with the homeless community because it's so large. It's such a big thing. And if I could just do one good deed, I feel like I've done a lot of good deeds in a sense. So I feel like that's my way of giving back to the homeless, just helping out every so often. Sometimes, these guys come in, drugged out and all that, but sometimes you gotta like weed all that out and like really listen to what they're saying and like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do here. You're gonna take this dollar, you're gonna take it over there, you're gonna do something with yourself. And like you can see it trying to register through their head, and it's like, all right, we're getting somewhere. It may take a few times, but they keep coming back, and it's like, all right, you see a change in them, like, oh, okay, I finally did something. I finally got through this guy, or you just see him, and you just have that conversation, and you can just hear a change in their voice that they're trying to do something with themselves, and it's just that's the most amazing part ever, just to see somebody that was just you just seen sleeping on the street, and then next thing you know, they're working at Jimmy John's, riding their bike up and down the street, with a job. You're like, dang, all right, that's what's up. Okay, so I gave you that tube, and then my little $5 that I put in there actually worked. So I think that's the best thing ever. Just working at a bike shop is just helping the homeless.
I think part of the spirit of this summit is to highlight people that aren't seen, and even just hearing you talk about working with the homeless. I know I'm putting you on the spot right now, but is there a way that you think the cycling community could continue to like serve a community that you might think is currently like overlooked?
That's a different one. That can be really tough. I mean, I think that's something that it takes an individual to take baby steps to really figure out the core and to kind of start something and to branch it out to kind of help, because sometimes you can offer those guys anything and they won't take it. So sometimes you just gotta like start something and pray that they'll come to you and ask for help and want that help. So that's where I feel like if you just either at a bike shop, if you just can just give them a tube, or if you're just starting your bike rides and just ask them to come on for a bike ride, just sometimes you gotta let them come to you when it comes to the homeless, because they can be really difficult for sure.
In terms of other places you find yourself, you give energy, and maybe also to refill your cup, since it seems like you give so much energy. I was just laughing so hard at seeing your Team Brooks photos because there's just like, you're like, I know this group is just having a great time. Could you tell us like what it's like, one, like how did you get involved with Team Brooks and what do they do, but also like, just what are some of the stuff that you do? How do you, get involved in the bike community through them?
That was kind of interesting myself when we when I got on that team. I was like, man, somebody reached out to me, like Team Brooks. I'm like, all right, because I really love their saddles. They really work for me. So it was just like somebody, Ultra Romance, just reached out to me like, hey, I heard through the grapevine that you might be interested in maybe doing this and doing that. Like, would you be interested in doing Dirty Cans? I'm like, for one, thank you for talking to me. For two, hell yeah, hell yeah, I want to do that. But how did I like get in on this conversation? Like, I'm from Florida. All I do is ride track bikes. Like, and it was like, somebody from Team Brooks just reached out to me and mentioned you and said you might be interested in something like that. I'm like, wow, okay. And it was just awesome just seeing like a group of people that we all do some kind of competitive something, but not really race. But it was just like we just out to like just to ride. And I think the whole thing of was it to not make these kind of events serious. Like, yo, just go out, have fun. And that's pretty much everybody's whole outlook when I got there for the first time. Everybody's just out just just have a good time. Yeah, it's a race, but the main part is have fun first. Keep it, still make sure it's a bike. Yeah, if you want to race, you can, but at the same time, you're not doing it for no reason. You you're doing it because you enjoy this sport. It's fun to you. So that was like the whole gist, and always try to create these crazy outfits, this bright pink bike, all these crazy colors, just to make sure it's still fun. You want to see the smile on people's faces, and it's that's the first thing you see when we pull up, is like everybody's smiling, having a good time. Like, okay, they came to party. I want to ride with them. Like, forget racing. I don't even want to race anymore. I just want to hang out with these guys. Like, they look like they know what they're doing. And I think that's like the main part of it, just go have fun.
And that's where you were mentioning always making sure you bring music on these rides.
Mandatory. Mandatory. You gotta have the tune. You're just trucking along, like, you just start vibing, like, that right there will make you go faster. You hear the right song, oh man, Strava is over. Like, it's time, it's hammer time. You hear that right song, it's like, oh, I'm not even tired no more. It's time to get it again. So that's the reason why I love music so much.
Was there a part of Dirty Kansas that is truly, did it push you in any ways?
Oh, the whole ride did. Like, I think the start was like the most insane, like, something to ever see. Is when you take off and you look behind you, there's a lot of people, but then you look ahead, you be like, wow, there is literally over 1,000 people on this road. And you're like almost a half a mile back, and you can just see the front just getting it. And you're like, man, these boys are, they're really after it. And you just gotta like squeeze on through. You just squeezing on through, and then just as the day went on, you just start seeing bodies on the side of the road. So it kind of puts a little bit of fear in your heart, in a sense. But I was just like, man, I gotta get out of this, yo. Like, this is insane. So it kind of shocks you in the sense to kind of like, okay, I need to keep going. Like, I'm just gonna keep going. So that's what it kind of just showed me and just brought to me, just that whole visual of like, great start. Oh, we got to finish. Like, okay, here we go. Like, all right, let's just slow it down a little bit. Let's slow life down. You're going a little bit too fast again.
Were there I'll take a moment to say that if anyone wants to drop in some questions right now, I just saw that we had one about your music, but I'll ask you a few more questions and we can open it up to everyone. But are there, I think it's like, you make it seem so easy that you just overcome these challenges, that it's easy for you, overcome this as a rider with a single leg, but you also mentioned this being a Black father and giving kids something to do. And you also have your indoor racing career. Has there been a moment along the way that it all kind of caught up to you, and like you really stood there just as either something like you were really proud of, or just said like, wow, I couldn't imagine that I was going to be here?
Oh yeah, that's every day. That's every day. I'm like, man, like, all right, you're here, but not there. I always tell myself I'm not there yet, just so I can keep pushing, and just trying to create ways to kind of just keep putting myself out there. But yeah, that's every day. I have those moments that I think about that, and where I was, and where I'm at now, and I'm in like California, dude. Like, that's amazing. Just to make that leap, just to go to California, like, I never thought I was gonna it'll happen like that. But sometimes you just gotta make that leap of faith. And I think about that stuff every day. Like, I definitely thank God that this is a blessing to be talking to you, for sure, and just be in front of a live audience like this. But that's just the cool part about just wanting to keep pushing, is to be able to do cool stuff like this.
I think some questions that we're seeing trickle in that go along with the line of pushing yourself along with finding motivation is your Paralympics. And so someone was wondering if you're still pushing for that, but also, I have no clue what that journey looks like. So we wanted to talk about your path towards the Paralympics, and if that's a current goal or a future, or...
Yeah, it is a current goal. I'm still, interested in doing it, but right now I'm just been enjoying so many other events, and I feel like that's been more of the brutal, but that is definitely a goal I want to try to shoot for. I'm just waiting, just always checking my emails, just seeing the way things are going with the whole COVID thing. you know, because that's kind of something that we still are facing right now. So right now I'm just kind of, you know, enjoying dad time, enjoying family time. I'm using this as like a little break, but dude, I'm still out riding, man. This is, you know, I'm still training. Like these gravel rides, those things aren't easy. Like that's the most mental thing ever. So I feel like that's also preparing me and keeping me definitely up to par for sure. So you know, once things open back up, I'm gonna be back at Carson almost daily for sure, trying to, you know, get me some track time in. But right now it's just, you know, all road and, you know, all gravel kind of stuff right now that I've been doing.
Nicholas he dropped a comment here talking about adaptations to the bike. It seems like in some way you've pulled off a Herculean task. Are there things, so Nicholas said he's helping design an e-bike. Are there either design things that you wish were there on the bike for adaptive riders? Are there kind of quirky things that you've changed, or like has it really been a smooth process for you?
No, I really feel like you got to keep a bike a bike. I think you have to adapt to it. So that was been my biggest thing to me. I like, you know, you do like just keep this bicycle the way it is. You just got to figure out how to make these pedals turn, or you know, kind of go from there. And just doing para really kind of showed me that, like, wow, these people have made this bike work for them, and they are killing it. So I was like, all right, no changes to a bike. You just got to adapt to it and make your own changes to it and make it work for you.
I love that. It's the mentality of like ride your own ride as
That's
well.
it. That's it.
One, and I bet the pause has been nice for you to reset and rethink things. And so I don't know if there's been anything taken off your list, but Andrea was asking if you could ride anywhere. You know, is there something that's on your list? Is there an inspirational goal once we are kind of opened back up that is on the bucket list for you?
Just start going to the other cities that really supported me, like New York, Portland. You know, I just want to start visiting these other bigger cities and just, you know, do like a little ride, visit a bunch of shops. You know, just kind of start giving back and riding back with people and just hanging out with them. Just run to get to know, instead of seeing you on Instagram, like let's go for a bike ride. So that's kind of like, you know, my goal right now is kind of do stuff like that when things open back up. Just travel a whole lot more. Definitely visit Japan. Like I feel like their culture over there is really big, and I just want to like get that experience and kind of bring it back over here.
Hmm. For those, there's so many fun cities to visit and follow. Are there any resources or people that you kind of try to follow or stay tapped into, whether that's group rides or team rides or just individuals that you say like, wow, here's where I get a dose of inspiration. You know, for me, it's following Leah Wilcox, where I'm just like, I can't believe this woman. For anyone who doesn't know, she's like an endurance rider who, not only is an endurance rider who's won the Trans Am self-supported, but also has a program where she gives back through after-school programs, and is just really involved in the community. And so I was wondering if there's any people for you that people who also want to continue to get inspired from this weekend. You can say, hey, here's some people.
I really feel I look at all people because everybody has something that they're given. So I don't kind of like just, point out one person because I always try to like, oh man, what are they doing? Kind of read up on them a little bit, like, dang, that's kind of dope, man. That's pretty cool what he's doing there. You gotta read up on this guy. I just kind of do stuff like that. I look up to, what everybody and what everybody's doing and how they got there. So I mean, that's kind of it. I just look at what they're doing and kind of just root them on. I follow them. I comment on a lot of their stuff. A lot of bike shops they kind of give back to, and they do a lot of different things. Just kind of give back to people. But I don't know. I don't have really a certain person. I look at what everything's going and what everybody's doing, and I just kind of applaud. Like kind of read up on like, man, that's kind of dope, yo. Like, yo, that's pretty cool. I never thought about that. So that's it on that one.
I have to applaud you for that. No, and that's that reminder that everyone has a reason why they're out biking.
Hmm.
Everyone has a story why they're biking, and you help, enable that in people and invite people out for that. Maybe if people do want to start leading more group rides or being part of more group rides, do you have any just tips or experience that you say, hey, here's, and it could be very simple things of like, hey, if you actually want to be riding with people, this is, just the way I got started, or this is what I found important.
Yes, I can tell you right now, commitment. It's just dedication on doing it like every day. Like you got to be there at that ride like every week. If you're doing it every week, you have to be that guy to lead. And if you're hosting it, so it just takes dedication. Sometimes the group ride is not going to be as big as what you think. Still got to do a ride. It can be 2, 3 people. Just go somewhere. Just do something. Then next thing you know, the next week will be 10, 15 people. And you're like, wow, okay. And you got to rethink on this and like, how you going to handle 15 grown-ups or 15 kids, so you put you in those situations where, as long as you just keep doing it, it'll just become second nature, and, you'll find your spots. And I think the cool part is, just as long as you know the rules of the road, the cars will start, going along with it. And it's like, all right, we all got our own little flow. Everybody's confident. It's just like definitely dedicating yourself. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You gotta be there. You gotta be that guy.
Which is, one, thank you for being in that leadership position, and also just reminding people that it's like, that's what can keep the group consistent. And um, Mal was just wondering, was it all word of mouth? Were you texting buddies? Were you saying?
That was it. It was all word of mouth. I never had a Instagram page or anything. It was just all word of mouth. My Wednesday ride, definitely word of mouth, just because it was such a fast and reckless ride. So I definitely didn't, want ourselves to be out there like that. So that was like so underground, like, hey, this is a fixed gear ride. We are running lights. We are rolling it. Up to you if you want to come, but if you think you're fast, this is the night to come. Don't be trying to go fast on these slow rides, dude. Chill out. So it was like that's what kind of created that ride. Is like, nah, we don't need no instant. Like this is the reckless ride. Like if you want to be fast and get fast, come on out. I got you. And it just kind of went from there through word of mouth, like all the Jimmy John guys and stuff like that. Those are like my starters right there. Like they what kind of got it going. Like I'll just be, working on a bike and just pull up on them like, oh man, you don't want to, I'll race you to your route, man. And then we just take off, and I just take it on back. I'm like, all right, bike's good. It's Jimmy John approved. And that's how I kind of just blew up from there. And then we just like get in front of this bar called the Hub. It's literally called the Hub. And that's kind of like, the go-to spot to go to. And, usually no matter what kind of cycling you do, you'll see it there, like from lowriders, from SE bikes, from BMX bikes to skateboarders. Like no matter what, it was like all there. And just to be able to kind of present it there, I definitely thank the Hub for letting me do that for sure. And it still continues to this day, and that's what I love about it.
It's amazing to see what seeds you've planted for yourself, the community, your kids as well. I think I just got to spend some time with my nephew, and I'm like, to be able to see you go so fast, but then also slow down for others, it's really commendable. Is there the best way for people to follow you and continue to breathe a little bit of your energy, whether virtual
Yeah,
or in
of
person?
course, the Instagram. Instagram is always the top one. Right now, I'm over here in California. You can come visit me at Costa Mesa Specialized. I'm over there. Hey, we'll give you a little elbow, bam, bam. Say what's up. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. If you wanna come visit me? Now I got a little more free time. Junior's gone, so I can definitely do a little riding around now, a little sliding here and there. So that's where you can come find me.
And for those who don't know, what is Costa Mesa?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Costa Mesa, California. Let me make sure I say that.
That's good to know.
Yes, for sure.
For now, I think we can all just thank Leo for being here. I'd encourage you guys to hang out. It can be informal. And I'm so glad that we got this kicked off.
Hey Leo, it's Allison. It's nice to see you. I'm glad you were able to share all your story. Leo is the absolute best, and I can confirm that. So,
Allison, where did you meet Leo?
oh gosh, in Tampa, at City Bike, and he was like, "Hey, you should come on this Wolfpack ride." Like, oh my goodness. So Leo quickly became a really close friend of mine, and yeah, it's just been absolutely incredible to see his story and see what he's able to accomplish, and I'm so excited to see what the future brings for him. So yeah, I'll stop now.
Yeah, I've never actually, it'd be interesting for people who are tuned in, who's actually done a group ride. I think it's interesting because cycling sometimes has a very strong community aspect and sometimes it's very solo. So I've never actually done any bike races or gravel races, but Lisa and I have done a ton of touring where there's like the warm showers community, people who host you. But I think definitely in 2021, or what I'm excited about with this group is, you know, also just being inspired by people to say like, hey, maybe I should go out on a group ride or try fixed gear. That's what I was saying. Like, oh man, next time in California, I was like, I need to hop on different types of bikes.
Bring your Dixie.
Leo, I was just speaking your praises. So,
Sorry.
yeah, I saw you drop off this call. Your phone dropping.
Back at it. Hey, Allison.
She was giving the Wolfpack praises.
Yeah, Allison in the building. Oh, so dope.
Leo, for your music playlists, are these usually stuff you're throwing? What artists sometimes make it on these?
You know, it's not even a certain artist. I just love like good beats, so I just listen to like trap music a lot because I just like hearing the beats, and it's just like it's so stupid. It's like, yeah, like did you just hear this stupid stuff this guy just said? And it's so funny. It's like, all right, whatever, I'm bopping to it. But I usually switch it up. You know, I'm very diverse with my music, but it's mainly trap music a lot of times. There's one time like during a race, I was listening to Isaac Hayes. I'm just like, I'm just want to listen to Isaac Hayes right now. This is kind of smooth. I'm moving and I'm grooving right now. Like, So, you know, I switch it up, you know. I love all music. Sometimes I'm listening to R&B. I just want to just slow it down a little bit. But yeah, all music is good, but mainly trap music for sure.
Wait, do you remember your first race and what that was like?
Yo, yes. My first race, my actual first fixed gear race I did, it was on Halloween. It was this Halloween race, and you know, you get through all your little checkpoints, and I caught a flat, and I'm like, oh no, I'm almost to the finish, like, So I rode this thing on a flat for maybe like a mile and through this park, and I got there, I'm like, where's everybody at? Like, yo, dude, you're first. I'm like, no way. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're first. Like, oh, through the bike. I'm like, yeah, on a flat. Yeah, on a flat, bro. Yeah. And that was like such an exciting moment right there. Just like, you know, and that's what kind of triggered everything from there. It just shot off like to win your first race. Like, oh yeah, let's do this. I'm game. I want to keep doing this. So one of my first little fixed gear race, my little alley cat.
Was there anyone there cheering you on for these races, or is this something that
I had my little girl there. So that was kind of cool. Since she see me pull up, she's like, Daddy, you back? I'm like, yeah, I'm back. I won. Like, so that was just such an exciting moment right there. Just kind of going through that and, you know, that whole experience for sure. You know, especially winning your first little alley cat too. You know, you don't even know nothing about it. You're just going to these different spots in this area you know nothing about. So that was definitely a premium rush for sure.
I love that. Well, beautiful, Leo. Unless anyone else has any questions, I'm like, I know now, I'm like, okay, I have to go get dark roast my bike, fix the back tire. It's Friday.
It's Friday, yes. You gotta go hang out, do something, man. Get out there and go do it.
As Jade said, yes, your energy is definitely contagious. I think overall, Miles Portraits is most active on Instagram. And so if you want to use the hashtag cycling with, tag Leo if he's inspired you to get out today. I definitely know he has for me. And yeah, I appreciate you so much. It's awesome just seeing people echoing that sentiment. You are just a bundle of energy, and that's a huge inspiration for a lot of us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Check out the full lineup. We got stuff throughout the entire week, and use this as a good excuse to actually get your bike put together and out for a little ride.
That's right. Go out there and get it. Sun's out, guns out, baby. No.